Disclaimer, I love all of these boys I'm about to name drop, so don't get it twisted whatsoever. That being said, stop listening to Eckhart Tolle, stop listening to Tony Robbins, stop listening to Alex Hormozi, stop listening to Joe Dispenza, stop listening to Jerry V. Shoot, don't even listen to me. Seriously. See, the problem isn't what's being said isn't of value. Don't get it twisted. Many of these names, as I touched on, I mentioned, they've impacted my life profoundly and continue to do so. And if you've watched this channel, you know that. If you click this, they've probably helped you too. So I'm not coming to anyone's neck right here. Do not get that misconstrued. But you need to know that there is a point where continuously seeking external information has diminishing return. And if you stick around at least 10 minutes, I promise you'll learn exactly how to leverage information from many of your favorite thought leaders for the better. So let's talk about thought leaders. And just like a movie or music, there's genres or categories you can group them under. Here's two of the most popular thought leader genres that we tend to see throughout at least the frames of people who will be watching this channel. First, you have the spiritual leaders. We're talking Joe Dispenza, Eckhart Tolle, Deepak Chopra, Rhonda Byrne, you name it. This subset of personal growth tends to specialize in fixing the internal being, more specifically your mind and how you process existence. The other subset that grabs a lot of mind share is the hustle gang. Right here, I'm talking Gary V, Alex Hormozi, Grant Cardone, etc. This subset tends to be more about the physical form. Scale your business, optimize your financials, start this side hustle, 10x your current state, what have you. Notice how opposite these genres are from one another. Let's compare Gary V to Eckhart, for example. You spend 20 hours watching Gary V on YouTube, you'll be ready to shoot content nonstop, digging around looking for items to flip online, or selling NFT sketches and ready to roll. Now you go from a diet of Gary V to my boy Eckhart, and you're ready to check your computer and phone out the window and sit still and be completely in tune with your thoughts at the present and not even overthink the future. So which one is the right strategy for your own life? Let me tell you right now, it sure as hell ain't Gary V's, and it definitely isn't Tolle's either. It's neither. Not by themselves, at least. Yes, that may not be what you want to hear, but you can't just copy a playbook and run it step for step. You will not get the same results they did, not even remotely close. There's way too many variables not factored into that equation, and most importantly is where you're currently at. So you have to create your own playbook that factors in your current state of being and become very aware of where you are. And while I can't personalize your playbook for you, what I can do is give you some guidance on creating one and leveraging the information you picked up along your journey for proper execution. Because again, there's definitely amazing information to be gleaned from thought loops. So as long as you're piecing it together in a way that uniquely serves you, we're cooking. That said, let's dig into Eckhart once more. He brings up the concept of yin versus yang, which makes a lot of sense here.
He represents doing and I represent being. But there is, as you know, the symbol of yin-yang, the intertwining the two. And in the middle of the one polarity, the yang, there's a little dot, and that represents the other. And in the middle of the other, there's a little dot that represents the yang. And most people go a little bit that way or a little bit more that way. Our civilization as a whole, of course, has gone into the doing mode very, very far to one extreme. So there's the civilization itself is actually mentally ill because of that. And the connectedness with being has been almost entirely lost. So it's a very fragile civilization despite its many achievements.
Fire. How many times have you heard you need balance? Shoot, I bet you've heard some of the same names that I touched on in this particular video say the same thing. Well, in Eckhart's piece, the yin and the yang is that particular balance. It's that equilibrium. So the yin represents the being side, your internal space. This lane typically aligns with meditation, stillness, presence, etc. The other end of the spectrum is the yang. This is the doing side, where the hustlers play. If you're overweight on one side, too much yin or too much yang, this can lead to the dreaded feeling of being stuck, and I've seen it often both ways. You see, when yang is the strongest, it contains yin. When yin is the strongest, it contains yang. There must be that equilibrium. And for my people heavy on the spirituality, Yes, you may have quieted your mind. Yes, you may have perfectly visualized what you want out of life, but you have to physically take action towards your goals to actually realize them. I can't tell you how many times in conversations individuals I've come across that sit back to rely on things to manifest in their life. And when you have conversations with said individuals about, what are the actual physical steps and physical actions that you've taken alongside of your internal process to assist with the manifestation of the external on the physical form? And there's very little that's put into that. See, manifestations alone won't necessarily get you to point A to point B if the physical element of it isn't integrated into your daily life. See, manifestation work in a bucket needs the physical element of it within the external world on the physical to allow for those things to manifest. And on the inside, for my hustlers out there, the information and concepts available to consume for execution is vast. Taken from me, because this is where I was stuck for years. There's so many things that you can try, this tactic, that strategy, this course, that standard operating procedure. Another guru comes by with, this is what worked for me to make stacks. And for some of you, that can lead you to try it all or hyper-focus solely on external growth instead of looking at the internal, and not put that same weight or even if remotely balanced with the internal, because you're putting so much effort into the physical form that you have no time for internal growth. And for many that know all the concepts, the strategies, the courses, the tactics, but aren't seeing progress, it's specifically that internal that you need to work on. Many that fall into this bucket don't often take the time to self-audit and ask yourself important questions, and the ones on the inside. Be very comfortable with the why am I doing this? What do I really want? Also, why am I not seeing the results I want? And that often comes from being still and being self-aware. And because you lack that internal audit, you'll try anything and everything that comes along instead of what's actually true to you. So my suggestion to you is to find that balance, find that equilibrium. Don't be Tony Robbins, don't be Alex Hormozi, don't be Gary Vee, don't be Joe Dispenza, be you. Because it'll take both the being and the doing to realize the goals you have for yourself. It can't be one or the other. Let's go! And if you watch this all the way to the end, then I know you're dead serious about your personal development and taking your life to the next level. That's why I recommend watching this video where I reveal the lesson that was the biggest game changer in my life and reconditioning the patterns of my mind for success. We out.